Hello, I'm Sophie D'Souza and welcome to my channel Sophie Stained Glass. Many videos about architectural glass, and I hope you find something of interest. Please have a look when you have lots of time on your hands, because there's about 300. Yes, what else do I do with my life? I make videos. So today's video I am pleased to say is a present for my daughter's wedding, and it was made with love. And I have done a stained glass panel for them based loosely on the sort of arts and crafts movement and William Morris type designs, because they particularly like that style. So you probably won't be able to see it because there's a wall behind it, but I've taken a little video of it with light behind it so you can see. So this video is a sort of start to finish of how I made with love, did I say that? This panel for my daughter and her fiance Ben, soon to be married in about 6 weeks' time. So yes, I hope you enjoy. Thank you. So you can see the partly assembled panel. I'm working on cutting the glass now. I have a vast array of shades of green and shades of red that I'm choosing from, because the more variety I can put into the glass, the more interest the panel will have. So I am cutting on my pattern on the table, but laying out on the light box so I can see the panel grow and develop. And I have done, as you saw, a coloured design where I balanced the different depths of colour, because working it all out at this stage is quite hard, and it's nice to have my design to refer to help me along the way. It still takes me quite a long time because there are so many colours to choose from. But it's lovely to see the panel progressing, because even without the painted work, because as you can see I've only painted a few things in, just having the array of colours is so pretty. Sometimes having as much choice as I have on this occasion isn't always helpful. But it is nice with a panel like this to get that array of colours into it, because the pieces are all small and I have a workshop full of offcuts. There really is a world of choice for me. A little bit of close-up there of the birdies. So here you see me start to paint, and this is an old palette. I don't clean the paint off my palette at the end, I just keep it for the next time and with a bit of water bring it back to life. So resuscitate it, so to speak. You have to spend a bit of time working it up. I have a little tub of pre-mixed brown and black paint, which you just saw me use to supplement my palette. Then with a little area of water on the side of the palette, I can start to pick up the paint and mix it to the consistency I want each time I go to paint. And of course, before you start painting, you have to clean your glass, because when you cut glass, you use an oil-fed cutter. So if you don't clean your glass properly, the paint just won't adhere to the surface. And one of the best things you can use is a bit of glass paint. So I'm just dipping my tissue into the glass paint and giving the glass a clean. You can use a normal glass cleaner, you know, like you use for your windows at home, and that will work as well. First thing I'm doing is the branches. And the way I like to do wood is rather stylized, and I paint it with the sort of grain you find when you cut into a piece of wood. So it's really not what you see on a branch of a tree, but I really like it as a technique for signalling this is a piece of wood, and actually it reads beautifully. I've always done that as a technique with wood, painting branches or trees. And nobody ever questions the fact that those kind of lines that you get on wood is what you get when you cut into wood. Those rings and knots. So having painted it and let it dry, I clean it up with a little, well, this is the, I usually sharpen the other end of a paintbrush. So now this is a piece of glass that's going to be the feet, and I'm flooding the area with black. And then when it's dried, I will scrape away the little legs and toes of the birds. And that's the technique that I will be using for the berries. It's quite satisfying, and it creates quite a jewel-like finish because the colours really pop through the flooded areas. So this is me working my way through all the pieces that are going to use this flooding technique. Now this is a close-up of me painting one of the leaves. I thought it'd be nice to show you how I do it. And again, it's rather stylized, like with the wood. I'm not basing it on a real leaf. It's a sort of general memory of leaves that I'm calling upon, and just doing them the way I feel like doing them. I've painted a lot of leaves in my time, so I don't have to go back to basics really. I have it stored up in my head. And how I draw the leaves does depend on the shape of the glass. And this sort of triangular shaped glass spoke to me of a sort of folded leaf. And there you can see me flooding the area on the red glass, which is going to be the berries. Now with this toothbrush, I'm going to add some speckly detail to my leaves. I like to sort of muck them up a bit. I don't like them to be all shiny and new. And this means I don't need to do a shading layer. I use this speckling technique, and then I can get it all fired in one. And I like it because it's random and it brings down the colour of the green. And here I am with, this is actually a pencil with no lead in it. You know, it looks like it's got lead in it, but that's just the colour of the black paint on the end of the pencil. So there we go. Thought a little close-up of the techniques would be helpful. And back to me working in situ there. I'm actually exhibiting at the Chelsea Design Centre while I'm making this panel. So here we are at the Royal Windsor Horse Show, and I am in the Royal Warrant Holders tent where there are lots of craftspeople exhibiting. So we have all sorts of interesting things. We have a whip maker and a milliner, a saddler, a silversmith, and my own personal area of chaos. So I'm going to be doing some painting today and a little bit of leading. So what you can see me doing here is something you'll have seen in lots of the other videos I've made, which is I've leaded the panel and I rub tallow, which is a form of flux, onto all the joints, and then I start to solder. I've used 5mm lead for this project, which is quite slim. I normally, for architectural panels, wouldn't go lower than 6mm. It's exciting at this stage because it means you've nearly finished the panel and you get to hold it up to the light. So here I am rubbing cement in, and I decided that my cement was a little bit runny, so I sprinkled a bit of whiting on top while I was rubbing it in, just to thicken up the consistency. Mucky bit of the job, this. This will also be bringing down the colour of the lead because there is pigment in the cement. And when I say cement, it's like putty. And you can have a look at one of my other videos for the recipe because I make it myself, although you can buy it off the shelf. So I'm cleaning up all the edges with a little pointy stick just to make sure I have got all the cement out of the nooks and crannies, of which there are many in this panel, of lots of tiny parts. I like to use a coir brush for this part of the job. Nearly finished. So after I've done this, all I have to do is the polish and then I'm done. So it's the end of Friday and I've been working very hard. I'm going to show you all my panel, hoping that you can see it there. So I hope my daughter will be very pleased with that, as I am pleased with my little glass of champagne, which the Royal Warrant Holders have very kindly given me.